Hi friends, welcome back to Brilliant Blue Reviews. My name is Heather, and in this video I'm going to be giving you my review of the new Tron movie, Tron ARES, put out by Disney. Okay, this is the third Tron movie. The original movie Tron came out in the 80s, and I did see that one at the time it came out, I'm pretty sure. And then there was Tron Legacy, which came out sometime between when the original Tron came out and this one. I think it was closer to this one. And now this is Tron ARES, which is the third movie in the series. Oh, and they definitely set it up for an additional movie or movies to follow. So expect more Tron movies in the future. I went into this movie with fairly low expectations. And the reason for that is twofold. One, I do not remember the first Tron movie at all. I remember that I thought it was cool, but I don't remember anything about it. I didn't remember anything about the plot. And like I said, I did not see Tron Legacy. Then the second reason I went into it with low expectations is because the few reviews that I have seen or read about it didn't speak very highly of it. Like they didn't think it was very good. And I have to say, I disagree. I went to the movie with my son, Ben, and he and I both liked it more than we expected to. And I actually thought it was really cool. The one complaint that I saw from people was they didn't think it really had much of a plot or much of a tie-in to the previous movies. And I disagree with that too. I actually thought that was way better than I thought it would be. And my son Ben and I both agreed we're each going to give it a 4 out of 5. So we really liked it. Okay, the basic premise of the movie is picking up, I assume, from the end of Tron Legacy, which, like I said, I didn't see it, so I don't know. I can tell you from personal experience, you would not have to have seen either of the first two Tron movies to be able to go into this movie and think it was a good movie and enjoy it. It's a fun ride of a movie. Okay, they give you kind of a little background with some stuff at the very beginning, just with images and things. And basically, Flynn, I can't remember what his name was, the character that was played by Jeff Bridges in the original Tron movie. He was a video game designer, is what I'm kind of getting or remembering. And he went into the grid, into the world of Tron. Okay, Tron was the name of a video game. And he's still there. Okay, and like nobody knows what had happened to him. He disappeared. There's like news articles up on this bulletin board and stuff that he was never seen or heard from again. And you see in this movie, Jeff Bridges is in this movie. Now, I had to actually look it up because the way they show him in this movie, I actually thought it was an AI recreation of Jeff Bridges. And I actually wondered, did he die? And Ben and I were kind of asking each other if the actor, if Jeff Bridges had died. He has not died. And then sometime after that, there were these two companies, let me see if I can remember the names, that were in competition with each other over some gaming and stuff and AI advances and stuff like that. And it was MGEM, I think, or something, MGen, something like that. And then the other one was, dang it, I always forget names as soon as I walk out of a movie. Like I sit there like repeating them over to myself when I'm in the movie so I can tell you guys the names. And then I get home and to film the review and I can never remember the name of anything. Dillinger? Yeah, I think that was something with Dillinger is the red team, if you will. So the other company, whoever was the head of that in Tron Legacy, which I did not see, is also gone now, and I don't really understand why. And it was being run by these two sisters, the Kim sisters, Eve and her sister, her younger sister. And you find out through the course of the movie that the younger sister was the one who was really doing some really cool stuff with AI. And she was developing all of these very practical uses that would do things like cure diseases and help with world hunger and developing drought-resistant plants and stuff like this. And she was doing all this stuff and finding really positive uses for AI. Their company is a blue team, if you will. Kind of the beginning of the movie, they're going to be launching a new game, and they have this big launch party thing that's kind of important. And then the other company, Dillinger, is basically using AI as a means for developing weapons. And they're using it like to develop new vehicles for the military and expendable soldiers. So AI soldiers that they can actually bring into real life via basically a really fancy 3D printer is what the gist is. So the concept kind of this movie is, instead of us going into a virtual reality world and experiencing life in a virtual reality, they're bringing the virtual reality to us. So they're inventing things in cyberspace and then basically printing them into existence in the real world and bringing the stuff here to us. That's kind of the gist. So at the beginning, the very beginning of the movie, Dillinger, is that right? It's gonna bug me that I don't know the name. Hold on, I'm gonna check. Yeah, it's NCOM and Dillinger Systems are the two competing companies. So think of NCOM with the Kim sisters as the blue team, if you will, on Tron. Dillinger Systems is like the red team, okay, basically is what you want to think of it. Quick aside, the ride, Tron Light Cycle Run, is a ride now at Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World. If you follow me on my travel channel, Heather Travels, I've shown over the past few years the construction of that ride, and when we finally rode it for ourselves about a year ago, August of 2024, I took all three of my kids and we finally rode it. I personally don't like the ride. My daughter didn't either, but my boys both liked it. It is very fast. The scenes in this movie where they are on the light cycles in the real world, there's like a chase scene with Eve Kim and these two programs. ARES and Athena are the names of the programs, and they're chasing her on these light cycles. The way it's shown in the movie and everything is exactly like the ride in Walt Disney World. So if you want to like get that experience of what that's like it's shown in the movie, go ride the ride at Walt Disney World. It's also in Hong Kong, I think. They did temporarily change the lighting effects on Tron Light Cycle Run at Magic Kingdom to red. Normally it's all blue, but they've got it temporarily changed to red just to coincide with the launch of this movie. The problem with these 3D printed, if you will, I mean, they're kind of like printed with lasers is what they show. Dillinger Systems is inventing things like vehicles and things, and these soldiers that are supposed to be like the ultimate soldier because they're highly trained, very specialized, don't get tired, don't need to eat. And the Kims are inventing things like, the thing that they show is an orange tree. So they're inventing literal like plants and stuff like that are going to help people and benefit society. So they've got these two kind of competing missions. The problem is that nobody's been able to solve the problem of these things that they create in the real world lasting longer than 29 minutes. So they're looking for the permanence code. That's the goal. They want to find the permanence code so that the stuff that they create in virtual reality and then basically print out with these lasers in the real world will last longer than 29 minutes. So it's this big competition between the two companies. Eve Kim is trying to continue her sister's work. Her sister has actually died of glioblastoma, which is a type of brain cancer, I'm pretty sure. She was the younger sister, but she was the one that was really kind of like heading this whole thing up. And so she's trying to continue her sister's work. And she digs into Jeff Bridges' character, Flynn's original server and files and everything, and finds the permanence code. And so she's able to get her orange tree that she creates out in the middle of nowhere in Alaska to last and doesn't, disintegrate after 29 minutes, like everything that Dillinger Systems is doing. All their vehicles, their soldiers, including Jared Leto's character, ARES, who is a program. Basically, they're just both trying to get this code, and Eve Kim, she finds it first. So she's got it on a drive. Julian Dillinger, the head of Dillinger Systems, he's temporarily and just recently been made CEO of the company. His grandfather started the company. There's like a portrait of him on the wall. His mother is played by Gillian Anderson, and she is not happy with what her son is doing. And she's kind of a big character in this. You know, she's kind of like the conscience of the company and not really happy with Julian is doing things. That's a whole big dynamic there with the two of them. The guy who plays Julian, I'm almost positive, I can't think of the actor's name, but I think he's Quicksilver from the X-Men, and also was the second brother of Wanda that was in WandaVision. I'm pretty sure that's the same actor. So he's kind of losing it because he's trying to get control, you know, take permanent control of the company. And he really wants this code so that he can make his stuff last so that the military will actually want to buy it, because they don't know, he's hiding from them, that the stuff like disintegrates after 29 minutes. So he's really intent, you know, because he's trying to make money. And he can't obviously sell any of this stuff if it doesn't last. Whereas MCOM is trying to get the permanence code so that they can make things like food and plants and medical discoveries and stuff like this that will last and actually help people. So ARES is a program within Dillinger Systems, played by Jared Leto. And you realize pretty quickly that his AI is so advanced that he has started to develop a conscience. And he started to put things together, and they show things like he has this confrontation with Eve Kim at one point, and they show things like he's detecting empathy from her. Actually, I think it's Athena that notices it, the other program. But he reads all her texts and he listens to all of her interviews and everything, and he starts to realize that she wants to do something positive with this code. And he wants permanence for himself, because every time that Julian Dillinger brings these programs out as soldiers in the real world, they die every 29 minutes. So, which looks kind of agonizing and painful for them. You know, they like literally disintegrate. He doesn't want to keep going through that all the time. It kind of reminded me of that movie with Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt, the one where he keeps dying every day and keep having to go back and redo it. I can't think of the name of it. But anyway, it reminds me of that. There's some other like secondary characters too, besides Gillian Anderson is the main secondary character with Julian Dillinger, his mom. And then on Eve's side, there's a few people. There's her CTO, her chief technology officer, who I recognize the actor. He's an Indian guy. He's there. And then Seth is kind of her like partner that goes up to Alaska with her and is trying to find the permanence code at the beginning. The CTO guy has an assistant and she's helping out with stuff, and they're kind of working as a team at points later in the movie and do some pretty significant stuff. Okay, so that's the basic general plot. Two things that I think really stood out in this movie is it's visually very stunning. It looks really cool. The graphics and the CGI and all the special effects and everything, they make it look, because there's two things that they show. They're showing this advanced technology coming into the real world, and it's filmed, it's obviously meant to be Seattle, but I watched at the end of the credits, it was actually filmed in Alberta and British Columbia. But, you know, stunning mountains and stuff, and it might have been Seattle where they were filming, where there was a city. You know, so you've got this really high-tech advanced technology coming into the real world. And then also, they go into the grid, and they go into two different grids. They go into the Dillinger Systems grid, you know, where these programs are actually functioning, and show it like that. And then they also go back into Flynn, Jeff Bridges' character's original 1980s grid at one point. And that's like a whole different thing because it's, you know, fairly primitive and stuff like that. It was just all really cool. I mean, if you're like interested at all in technology or artificial intelligence or advances in technology and stuff like that, this is a really cool movie, and it's got a lot of interesting things to think about in it. It has a lot of cool quotes and lines in it. It's got a lot of humor, which was always fun. You know, like it kind of reminded me a lot of some of the Avengers movies, because it's intense and high tech and, you know, actiony and stuff like this. But then they throw in like these very human moments and also these very funny moments, which make it lighter and stuff like that and make it just really entertaining and enjoyable. And Ben said, as we were coming out of the theater, he said he's starting to be able to tell the stuff that is Iger again. So Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney, was CEO for a long time, and then Bob Chapek was in there and everything went to crap. Okay, and everything under Chapek was just a mess. And then they basically ousted Chapek and brought Bob Iger back in. And Ben saying, you know, it takes time to make movies and stuff. And he said he's starting to see the stuff that you can tell is more under Bob Iger's leadership again, and it's better. And he said starting with Thunderbolts, which I agree, Thunderbolts was really good, best Avengers movie in a while. And now this too, we were really impressed with it. And he said you can tell that they actually paid their CGI people. Like the graphics and the special effects and the visuals in this were just absolutely stunning. Really, really well done. And then the other thing that we thought was really great, or at least I did, is the soundtrack by Nine Inch Nails. So Nine Inch Nails, if you're not familiar with it, was an alternative band from 80s and 90s. And like I saw in Jeremy John's review of this movie, he said Nine Inch Nails understood the assignment and they got it done. And that's totally true. The Nine Inch Nails soundtrack is really good in this movie. And there's actually like a really pretty kind of haunting song in the end credits. There's actually only 3 Nine Inch Nails songs in this movie, but they're used kind of repeatedly and they're all really good. And so I really liked the music. And then there's kind of an inside joke about Depeche Mode. Like ARES is like, he really likes Depeche Mode and he's trying to explain why he likes Depeche Mode. And he can't, and he realizes that the reason he can't put it into words is because it's actually a feeling. And so that was kind of an interesting thing, you know. And there's these tie-ins with Frankenstein and how Frankenstein is a creation, and ARES kind of relates to the character of Frankenstein's monster. Frankenstein's monster is the creation. And he kind of relates to that, how he had a creator and he was a creation, and he pulls some things from Mary Shelley's Frankenstein that he kind of uses, help him come to terms with what he is. So it's kind of interesting. But overall, I just really liked it. And we thought it was very entertaining and very visually appealing and fast-paced. And it was cool. It was a really cool movie. We really liked it. Like I said, we both gave it 4 out of 5. There is a, not mid-credits scene, but fairly quickly in the credits, like right after the credits start, within like 30 seconds or something, there is another scene. And both the actual end of the movie and that mid-credits scene are very obviously setting it up for a next movie. So make sure you stay and see that. Although you'd have to pretty much jump out of your seat as soon as the movie ends to miss it. So overall, we really liked Tron ARES, and I would recommend it. If you saw Tron ARES, let me know in the comments what you thought of it. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.